Um, Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Having said that, I'll pass it to Councillor Tucky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Delegations, not seeing any delegations. Declaration of financial interest, statement of disclosure, seeing none. Can I have a motion on the floor to accept the agenda as presented?
I move that the agenda be adopted as presented.
I'll second that.
Any additions or discussions? Councillor Campbell.
Oh, thank you. I would like to add in have a discussion about the college building a sand fence along their West 49, I think they call it, West 40, and along King Street. Is that proper building techniques? Thanks.
Thank you. Anything further? All in favor of the motion?
I approve the changes as amended. No problem.
Thank you for that. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor? Passed unanimously. Minutes of the Corporate Service Standing Committee minutes of August 6, 2024 were reviewed and adopted at a regular meeting of council on August 20th, 2024. We've all had a chance to go over our visions and values and strategic plans. Continue on to governance, Human Resources Committee.
Sure, I can give an update that we had gone through the process for screening and interviewing potential candidates for the Director of Municipal Services. However, both were not successful candidates, and then that had gone back out, and we're having another interview this Thursday for that position.
Thank you, Councillor Ferguson. Anything? Councillor Couvret.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would duly request that we go back to item 4 review. I do have actually a couple of questions I would like to present.
Certainly, not a problem. The floor is yours. That's why you were making those motions there?
Hey, thank you, Mr. Chair. One of them is in regards to we're looking at or referencing the Corporate Services minutes of August 6, item 5 under governance. I was wondering if we could, we were talking, that item was dealing with a motion for a committee to, or an appointment to review the applications for the Director of Corporate Services competition. And I was just wondering if we could get an update on the status of that competition. And the second,
You said corporate services.
corporate, yes. Okay. Thank you for that, Councillor Ferguson. The second item I was just bringing up for, I guess, the mayor and the NTPC intervention committee is to demand a response from the Power Corporation and the minister responsible for the Power Corporation to our letter that we sent. I'm assuming it was requested a while back for them to come and present to mayor and council. One of our big questions is what the hell's happening out at Tolson? We see a press release, but well before that press release was issued, we asked the minister and the CEO from the Power Corp to come and talk to the leadership of the community about what's going on out there. What is the status of the contract? What's going to happen to them? We find out from a press release that it is now a $37 million more price tag on that particular project. And who's going to absorb that? Is it going to be just the people from the Tolson hydro system? Like, after seeing the press release, I have even more questions, and they've just totally ignored our request to present. And I think we should be demanding that they come and do a presentation. We are one of the most impacted communities from whatever's going on out there.
Councillor Ferguson.
I'd have to agree with everything that Councillor Cravette just said and ask that our mayor and administration follow up on that request for meeting with the minister for the NTPC and get him here to let us know what's going on. And Corey, yeah, the president of NTPC.
I'll second that.
Yes, I'll follow up with that tomorrow.
So, Mr. Mayor, we'll leave that in your hands to follow up on that.
Yes, because it was a while back and we've never got a response or anything on it. Try to just brush this aside. So yes, we'll get on it tomorrow. Thanks.
Any further discussion? Moving on to Communications Committee. Deputy Mayor Coral.
So we had a meeting on August the 14th, and there was to be a newsletter put out, and I was wondering if admin could give me the status of that, please.
SAO Thomas.
Hi there. Actually, I think the first draft was printed off today, and he's going to make all the copies, and we're going to be putting it out. And we're actually going to be picking up some newsstand holders, like display cases, and putting them up around town. But it is done. And actually, I feel like the mayor got his hands on a copy today. Did you not?
Yes, I did. Left it in my office.
Thank you.
Any further discussion on the communications? Seeing none, moving on to Bylaw Review Committee.
We met as well on the 14th, and we have a meeting coming up again on the 12th to review Councillor Code of Conduct, and we did review the previous 3 employee bylaws, and they were passed, I believe, already through council.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Coral. Post-Secondary Education Committee. Councillor Couvret.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I haven't gotten it's on my to-do list to try and call the Post-Secondary Education Committee to meet. I've done some follow-up. We were looking, there was sort of a recommendation that we would try and meet with the Board of Governors. They are meeting towards the end of September in Yellowknife. And if we wanted, we could send somebody up there to delegate. Their next meeting is something, I believe, next May. So the Board of Governors is taking, at least from the meeting schedule, a prolonged break, if you ask me. And I think we should, be asking the board and possibly the minister responsible for education, what are the future plans? Like last we heard is that the plans to transition from a college to a polytech university is now sort of on the back burner. What plans do they have to move forward or to continue as operating as a college? What programs are they planning to bring in or reintroduce? I know there's talk about reintroduction of the Bachelor of Education program, but where is that happening and things like that? So I'll make a point of later this week putting a call out for the committee to meet and possibly look at drafting a letter to both the board and the minister asking for direction from them on where they're going.
Thank you, Councillor Couvert. Mayor Daniels.
Yeah, because I thought we'd done a letter from the leadership as well, as sitting down with the board and probably going a good 2 to 3 hour meeting with them. Like I'd rather just sit down, let's hash this out how we're going to do this, rather than just meeting and saying stuff. But like, I definitely don't want to wait till May. I mean, we should be tackling this now. Whether someone has to fly up, then that's fine, and with leadership as well. But we got to get on that Art of College and start working with it.
Thank you, Mayor Daniels. Moving on to NTPC Intervention Committee, Councillor Couvert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Already did my rant. I think, yeah, we just have to get them engaged and tell them that they have to pay attention to us. We're the ones that, we're their customers. From the minister's side of things, she has responsibility to constituents of the NWT to be responsive to our concerns. And we definitely have some serious concerns that we want a responsive answer to.
Thank you, Councillor Couvert. Mayor Daniels.
Yeah, when we're addressing them too, there's that issue of these deputy ministers sitting on that board. I mean, I know they had, I don't think they put it in writing, but I know it was mentioned that they'll just time out when their time is done. But for now, we don't know what time that is, and that's way too long. They're going to start getting into more trouble, and we're going to be sitting here. There's no that board should be changed off like soon. Not waiting for these people. One goes off, then another one's good for 5 years, and like, no, we're waiting there. And that's the people's company, and they should be taking it over. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any further discussion? Councillor Campbell.
Like I read in the news there, they're going to have a big increase because of some turbine that's out of whack. And they say they're going to pass it on to customers. We got to ask them straight out what happened to all that and why they passed on to us at the end. It's going to be like a $30 million extra thing. So we can't forget about that either. Thanks.
Mayor Daniels.
And when they pass that dollar on, there's only two communities that are going to pitch into it, and that's us and Resolution. Hare's not going to be in there, nor is Yellowknife going to be in there. Now, like, how much money is that going to come out of our two communities? Like, we can't afford it. Thanks.
Deputy Mayor Coral.
We also need to ask why there's no insurance for this project that would cover overages on times and that type of thing as well. That would not have the cost being passed on to the customers here.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Coral. Councillor Ferguson.
Thank you. Just made me think about what caused this additional cost. Was this something during the process of them doing this retrofit or overhaul that was did they break it as they fixed it? Was it something ordered wrong? Was it a mismanagement piece? Like what happened? And you're right. Like why wouldn't you have insurance or something to cover something like that if it's such a big piece? This sounds like I didn't read the news release, so I don't know. I don't what that means, but I can only assume something with that kind of price tag means that wasn't just we forgot that one bolt. That's a major mistake, and so whose fault is that?
Councillor Couveret.
Thank you. And it's not only the directly related cost for whatever went wrong, but originally the project was budgeted, I think, $4 or $5 million was estimated for the cost of running the diesels. And that was supposed to be from last May till October was the original project timeline. And now they're talking well into 2025. Those diesels don't run on air during that whole period of time. So there's probably, the number I heard is that we're upwards of $10 million just in diesel costs for, yeah. So, and where's that, and that's why I think we really have to have them answer the questions. What went wrong? What's the status of the contract that was in place prior to the evacuation? Did the contractor during the evacuation able to claim that the contract was, as originally written, was no longer enforceable and now they're on a cost plus or something like that? These are questions that I myself feel need to be answered on behalf of the citizens, not only of here, Fort Resolution. Hay River will end up having to pay some of this as well as they switch over from being provided power from the Northland Utilities to the Power Corp, because the power rates are going to go up and they're going to have to pay the higher rate as well. So I think if things start getting where the Power Corp is pushing back on this, I think we need to call the town of Hay River in and say you have a vested interest in digging in this battle with us.
Thank you, Councillor Couveret. Councillor Ferguson.
Thank you. It just made me think that, we see cost estimates for construction projects here for anything that we're doing, like a raw water intake and, various prices. And how could NTPC, a company as large as it has, misjudged or misevaluated this scope of work when it came to this specific job? It kind of makes me think it was like a bait and switch or smoke and mirrors, especially when they were going through that acquisition with Northland Utilities. When they say, hey, it's going to be a really good deal. Here you go. This is what we're doing. Knowing that they got this big monster that they're dealing with, but they don't want to say, oh, it's only going to be this like X amount of dollars. And this is only going to be the cost of that. And it's only going to be $5-6 million for diesel. But they knew better and they just didn't want to say, or maybe they didn't divulge. I don't know if that's something with the interventorship that we can address. That did you actually have knowledge of the true cost, actual costs, and all these unexpected costs that came up afterwards? Because how could you have misguessed so poorly? I don't know if that's something that we can come up with that.